All right, Georgia fans, man, it's time to talk about the major matchup, man. First off, I want to give love to y'all, man, because y'all always support my content. Y'all always comment, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, man. So I want to say I appreciate y'all, Georgia fans, for doing that, man. Definitely means a lot. So we got a big game, man. I'm gonna give my game pick. Georgia, is obviously favored, 62% to win this game, man. It's a big one. Playoff lives is on the line. Yes, playoff lives is on the line. So, they're coming off a loss to Ole Miss, ranked number 12, really number 13, because the 12th spot would be Boise State for the college football playoff. And Kirby brought up a great question today and said, what are they really valuing? Is it record or is it strength of schedule? When I look at the strength of schedule, he has a great point. When you look at the record, kind of tough to say, but the SEC, you're going to kind of balance each other out. But who deserves to be in and who doesn't remains to be seen. But if you're Georgia, you still get to control everything, right? But you got this game at home. You know what I'm saying? And you win this game, you could potentially knock out Tennessee. Now, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, I think at least 3 to 4 SEC teams is getting into this. You can book it. They want to see SEC teams in this. 3 or 4 are getting in. Which 3 or 4 are probably going to get in remains to be seen. But multiple SEC teams is getting in. Now, when we look at the injury news of this game, I've already talked about it earlier, so I won't go into too much detail, but Trevor Etienne is not going to play for Georgia. So you're going to have to lean on a young guy, Nate Frazier. Did a whole video, get the full thing on my channel at Najee Woke. For Tennessee, you got some great news. He was practicing. Forgive me, fans, Vols, volunteers. Early this week, I responded. I wasn't reporting that news. Again, I was responding to what Big Bear had said, formerly at ESPN. I believe he's with a different company now. Has said he's not expected to play, but as y'all told me, he was practicing, and now this is official. So I'm probably going to just go with their news. But On3 had it on their platform. That's why I responded. Usually a very good, reputable source. But this is Matt Zenitz right here. He says he's expected to start, pretty much barring anything unforeseen. He's traveling with the team, riding on the bus, yada, yada. So he's expected to play in this one. A big boost for the Volunteers, especially if they're trying to pull off this win. All right, now when it comes to Georgia, you got to protect the football, man. This guy right here leads the FBS in turnovers, 14 in the past 6 games. It includes fumbles. Leads the FBS during that span. It's not going to get it done. All right? I haven't heard anything about he's not going to play. But I'll tell you what. If Beck in this game struggles and has multiple turnovers, I guarantee y'all, with the season on the line, Smart's going to pull him. You can bet that. Smart's going to pull him. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be wise for him to have a good game, you know what I'm saying, and take what the defense gives. Now, if you're Georgia and you offensive coordinator Mike Bobo, lean on a rushing attack, man. Make this simple, make this easy. You have a good defense. Is it what it was in years past? No, but this is a good defense. Look what you did to Texas. Jalon Walker, Mikael Williams, Malachi Starks, true freshman, who could potentially be an All-American, potentially. We'll see. KJ Bolden. All right? You got pieces. Dane Jackson's good. You got pieces. Make it easy for him. What do we say? And I always like to say with a young quarterback. Now, obviously, he's not young. He's a veteran. You run the football, play great defense. That's all Georgia needs to do. Offensive line got to be better. It does. They got to win the point of attack against this really good Tennessee team. That's top 5 in scoring defense. This is a very good Tennessee defense. You got to be able to win the battle there. You know what I'm saying? In the trenches, that's where it's going to start. Got to win the battle there. All right. Other thing I want to talk about with Georgia. Can we find a way to get the tight ends involved? No, they're not Brock Bowers. But you got good tight ends in Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky. Can we get them involved? Can we find a way to get them involved in the short and intermediate routes across the middle of the field? Can we find a way to make it easier for Carson Beck? That's going to be the key here. You know what I'm saying? Offensively. Let's do that. Winning a line of scrimmage with the offensive line. Really good defense. You know what I'm saying? Top 5 scoring defense, and they're also number 2 in the country in third down conversion percentage. This defense is very good for Tennessee. All right? Make it easy. Run the football. Win the trenches. Let's get the tight ends involved, and then we go over the top with Dillon Bell, Arian Smith, and the wide receivers. That should be the game plan for Georgia. Humbly. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're Tennessee, Nico has kind of been up and down this year. Showing you flash, they can be an elite quarterback. showing some things, the inconsistencies as well with a young quarterback. So for Tennessee, you're on the road. Not an easy game, but you got a really good defense. You know what I'm saying? So if you Nico, got a good running attack with Dylan Sampson. You know what I'm saying? Thornton Jr. is having a great year for you as well. You know what I'm saying? You've been battle tested. You faces the Floridas of the world. I know they're not that good this year, but still, not an easy opponent, right? Lost to Arkansas. All right, you beat Alabama. Okay, so you know what it is. You know what you got to do. Not an easy environment, but if you're there, you got to strike. You know what I'm saying? This Georgia team's on the ropes. You got to strike. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be able to go in there. And I think if you Tennessee, go in and try to get an early lead. Don't even play with it. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, get an early lead. Lean on Sampson. You get the running game going early. You let Nico hit them bomb shots with that play action down the field later in the game. That's the key if you're Tennessee in this one. You know what I'm saying? Limit the turnovers. Let Nico cook. You should be able to do your thing. Nonetheless, time for prediction now. That's my breakdown of the matchup. And like I said, Carson Beck got to take care of the ball. But I'm going to go with Georgia. Every time we've seen Georgia in this spot and they're irritated, they're annoyed, no one's talking about them like that, backs against the wall, they always come up big for whatever reason. So I took Ole Miss to beat them last week. This week, I just got a gut feeling. I don't see Tennessee doing it. I think they're going to be pissed off, especially the slight what they got with the college football playoff rankings. I think this Georgia team is going to come out on fire. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to lean on the personality of their head coach. They're going to run the rock. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the over of 150-plus yards rushing total. And I think this defense is going to have a couple turnovers. Yeah, and I think you're going to see Georgia football for what we know them for. And again, this team has been up and down all year, right? You've seen the highs of the highs against Texas. You've seen the lows against Ole Miss. You've seen some lows against Alabama throughout 3 quarters. But you've also seen the highs and what this team could potentially do. We're going to find a lot about Georgia. And that's just why I said with the college football playoffs, some people don't like it as 12 teams. I love it. Because if we go back to the old model, how relevant is this game really? This game's not that relevant. It's not. We'd be talking about a team that hasn't lost. Like, no disrespect, they're a great team, but Indiana, we talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Oregon potentially meeting, in a, BCS National Championship. Now, that's not a bad matchup, but we get more intrigue now. That's why I love it. So, I'm going with the Dogs nonetheless, man. They should come out on top. They should be able to beat Tennessee. I'm going with them, backs against the wall. And I think with this win, they're going to get ranked again. They're already ranked, but I mean, back up in that top 12, actually. We're going to find out, man. 7:30 kick should be a great game. Let's see who comes out on top. Georgia fans, get at me down below in the comments.